Conversations post 2 a.m. is how this was described from the Denver Broncos live podcast. But I guess there was one particular player that Boston Connor might have a little bit of interest in.
What?
Really?
That was being chatted about around the bars of Indianapolis.
This was a very hot button name in Indianapolis after the hours of 2 o'clock.
That's when the good stuff comes out.
That's when the goods come out. And I have no intel to the Broncos to this player, but this would be an interesting type of comparison to that. Mac Jones.
Who?
There are people that coach the quarterback position in Indianapolis that believe if Kyle Shanahan would have legitimately taken Mac with the number 3 pick, which is kind of what he wanted to do in the first place, and then ended up getting talked out of it because Mac's probably ceiling wasn't very high and Trey Lance's ceiling was through the roof, and why'd you trade all of this for a guy with a ceiling that's about here? There's multiple guys told me this in Indy, like, I think if he took Mac at 3, they would have won multiple Super Bowls by now.
If Shanahan had Mac Jones.
He's got 4 Super Bowls.
What are we even talking about?
Mac Mahomes.
Imagine some drunk-ass scout walking over to a Niners scout. Oh, look who it is. Oh, Kyle Shanahan wants Mac Jones. Scouting department doesn't want Mac Jones. Oh.
You guys messed that one.
Oh, wow.
Idiot.
2 or 3 Super Bowls, probably.
At least.
Can we get a couple shots for the losers? Okay, yeah. That would be a hilarious thought about how it comes to that. But Mac Jones' name, I guess, has not been chatted about.
No.
Last year, there was trade chatter about him maybe going to Las Vegas.
Yeah, Vegas was one of them with McDaniels.
Yeah, he was maybe going to Las Vegas, I think, last offseason. Now the whole question is, are they taking a quarterback at 3? I guess at first the belief was, yes, they're definitely going to take a quarterback.
Yep.
Now it's like, well, let's see what it is after all the grades come out. And then the amount of narratives that'll change about these first 3 quarterbacks throughout draft season is going to be maybe 20 to 50 times.
Yep.
It'll just go. So I don't think any of us will fully know what to expect going into the draft. But like Mac Jones potentially traded, he'll be a member of the. What do you think is the outcome with Mac Jones as an avid Mac Jones supporter?
Yes.
For a time of your life, Boston Connor.
For about 2 years, I'd say I am a Mac Jones supporter. I think I still would consider myself a Mac Jones supporter. I think the situation will solely depend, obviously, on the draft. I hope they like 1 or 2 guys, and obviously not Caleb. I hope they like one of the 2 others, and they take him at 3 and then be moved. They're saying like 5th round pick area is what they're thinking they would get for him. But also, I wouldn't rule out him being back in New England, because I think if they don't like
that ship has not sailed. This is a Mason Rudolph potential situation with Mac Jones coming back to New England.
Yeah, personally, I wouldn't rule it.
For those that don't know what the Mason Rudolph situation is, Mason Rudolph went to Pittsburgh. We all remember the beginning of his career because he got bonked in the head by his own helmet on Thursday Night Football against Cleveland Browns.
In front of everybody.
Had his face mask removed.
That was a separate occasion.
Yeah, it was on the Today Show, Good Morning America.
Yep.
Did you see these barbaric features from last night on Thursday Night Football?
It's assault.
Then they do it in like picture form instead of video form, and it's like helmet,
They look good.
top of helmet, side of head,
bonk,
his face.
Like a Tom and Jerry cartoon.
It did.
Yeah.
It did. That was back whenever football, was kind of at the tail end of, is this sport too physical? Is it good for the future or not? So, boy, everybody hated that happened in that situation, but things are going to happen. A lot of tensions, a lot of energy, a lot of emotions. We want people to care adamantly about what they're doing, but then whenever some things cross the line, obviously it's going to be a big deal. Anyways, he did not play great football for the Steelers either during that time. So he was kind of hated by Pittsburgh quickly. And by hated, I mean we don't want this jagoff as our quarterback or representation of the city of Pittsburgh. We need to get this guy the hell out of here. Steelers were sticking behind him, though, adamant, putting him in. He would not do great. Pittsburgh would say, this guy sucks.
Give us Duck.
This is Duck Hodges comes in and does his entire thing. Shout out to Duck, but he's doing it. Proud of you, Duck.
Hold.
He's talking about his relationship with Lane Johnson. I do believe, as what a lot of people were thinking too. Hey, Duck.
Maybe Duck.
Love you, Doug.
Anyways, Mason Rudolph gets benched inevitably, and they draft a quarterback, and everybody is like, thank God we'll never have to deal with Mason Rudolph again. He was actually getting chanted out of town, out of everything. And then as the Steelers season went on the way it did, with the firing of a coordinator for the first time in ever, seemingly in Pittsburgh Steelers operation.
World War II.
Numerous quarterbacks. Mason Rudolph comes in and lights it up.
Yeah.
And then the entire city of Pittsburgh was chanting Mason Rudolph's name.
Yeah.
If Mac Jones comes back and plays good football, nothing matters.
No,
They will absolutely love him. But if he comes back and he stinks, right, you guys are probably going to lose your shit.
There's a lot of people that have already lost their shit, but that's the thing with Mac is that it was the reverse of that. And it is very easy to say Mac Jones stinks. I get that. He hasn't played well.
He had Matt Patricia as an offense coordinator. Offense, Matt.
Yeah, exactly.
no offense.
It's 3 different OCs in 3 different years. But again, you can say he stinks. I'm not going to argue with that. It's very easy to say they went 4-13. But like, you don't come into the league as a rookie and go 10-7 and go to the playoffs if you're not good at quarterback.
Pro Bowl.
Forget about the Pro Bowl. The Pro Bowl's fake. But
Well, he graded for 50 yards. I was like, this is actually pretty cool.
Yeah, that was sweet. But I just don't think like passing up, just taking a quarterback because of how bad it went, I think is the wrong move when there is a guy like Marvin Harrison Jr. I mean, last year at the C.J. Stroud Pro Day, all anybody talked about was, C.J. Stroud's unbelievable, but God, Marvin Harrison Jr., I mean, that is a Lamborghini, and no one can touch it because he isn't eligible yet. So if you're at 3 and you don't like the quarterback, take Marvin, and then you roll with Mac for his last year. You're obviously not picking up his 5th-year option, but I could see teams like a Sean Payton where he's like, I could see some Drew Brees and Mac Jones. I could see Sean Payton thinking that, like, this guy's accurate. You know, he doesn't have that, he's taller than Drew.
Pickleball.
Yeah, he plays pickleball. He likes cookies. I could see something along those lines.
He's
but
a dirty player.
He does. He
He's
kicks
dirty
people.
player.
Dirty player.
He is a dirty player, which if he's on your own
Doesn't
team.
he kicks people right in.
If he's on your own team, you don't hate dirty players. And anybody who play, I guarantee both of you had dirty players you played with, but I bet you loved them.
Montez.
Yeah. Like that is
Love
hard.
Pac might have been. I mean, Pac's trying to fight people.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, there's
You never won dirty though. Bro. You need
crossing
one of
the
those
line.
guys on the team.
Yes.
Yes,
Absolutely.
And if he's on your team, you like him. But
Yeah.
if he's not on your team, and then if he's on your team and he stinks, all those things start being viewed a different way.
Oh, yeah.
It's like the Russell Wilson stuff. Like,
Exactly.
When Russell Wilson's winning, everybody loves the Mr. Unlimited stuff. And then if you stink,
This guy sucks.
Get him out.
is this the corniest dude of all time?
Yes.
What is this guy? But if he wins, all the way back, like he's probably going to Minnesota. If Kirk Cousins is going to Atlanta.